Tonight, Xbox Live crashes, QAnon surges, and we ask the question, what is the Cannibal Club? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, every episode starts the same way. I say thank you to all my subscribers because there's always new subscribers every episode. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please come here on the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you'll be notified when these videos get posted, because as soon as the information is made available to me, I make it available to you. So we have a lot of drops to cover. To be quite honest, today I got a little busy with some other things because it's not all about making Q videos as much as I would like it to be. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but actually we've had like a bunch of posts, and there's this whole new dynamic that's being laid out by Q when it comes to what happened here, for example, with the Xbox Live. Then we're going to talk about what actually happened when it came to QAnon just being bashed by the mainstream media on a constant basis, and what do they have? What are they showing? And also, stick around for the end where we talk about Bill Maher, John Podesta, Tony Podesta, and the Red Shoe Brigade. What does that mean? What is the meaning behind wearing those red shoes? And I think it's going to be very interesting. You might want to stick around for that. So we're just going to start here with the first one. It's pretty much straightforward. It says, anyone have problems with their Xbox Live accounts shortly after the drop yesterday? Purge. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? What Q's referring to, and that's signed by Q, that's Q's post. And if you, again, before we get into this, if you want to get caught up, I encourage you to come back here and watch these last few videos. And I just want to point out to you guys, do you think I might be getting throttled by YouTube a little bit? Every one of my videos can't break 50,000 views now, when, you know, you go back a week and I'm averaging 100,000, 80,000. I mean, together here, I'm averaging like 60, 70,000 views a video. And even going back, it just has been a continuing thing for a while now. And to me, I'm not saying it, maybe people just aren't interested, but that doesn't seem to be the case considering I'm getting, subscribers by the thousands every other day. So it's just, to me, it's kind of weird that this kind of throttling happens. And this all goes along with something we talked about last video, when they just really ratcheted down. They, out of nowhere overnight, started demonetizing my videos. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I'll let you guys do that. Do with that as you may. And here, if you don't know what QAnon is, you're like, what is this nut job talking about? Please come here, watch this video. It'll explain what QAnon is and the Great Awakening. It'll give you a good idea of what we're doing here, and how to get involved with the research, what the research looks like. And if you guys are interested, share that video too, because it can really help a lot of people learn more about Q and what's going on here. So back to this. What happened on Xbox Live? Well, the next post gives us some more explanation. Here, an ANON post this article talking about Xbox Live was down, and here is the highlighted lines here say, confirm the issue on its Xbox Live status site, and players are complaining about the outage on social media. For anyone questioning if this happened or not, and Q just points to that. But what happened here? Well, one of the last posts Q gave us, we're going to talk about in a minute. Q points to the fact that they were using these online gaming forums for they were using like the live chat feature on Xbox Live to communicate secret messages with one another. And they really thought they were going to get away with it, and that the NSA wasn't going to pick up on it, and they did. And it's one of the reasons why Q says these people are stupid, because, listen, these people are literally going on to like World of Warcraft, right? And then they're going into some far little place in that gaming, that's a big virtual world, and they go and they put a little message in a treasure box, and then somebody comes and finds that message, and that's how they were communicating with each other, if you can believe it. And they thought it would get lost in the static and noise of the game itself, but not if you're being followed, not if you're being investigated, and certainly not if the NSA is involved, because they're going to find that information. So that's what Q is pointing to. Now the next one is this heat map that shows how bad the outage was yesterday. And it was a huge outage, and it affected a lot of users. And why did they do that? Well, I think we're going to hear about it right now. Here's another, this is outage.report, and they show right here the graphic of how bad the outage was. outage was, and it says nothing to see here. Drops equate to reaction action Q. And what's being suggested is that there was a freak out when Q pointed out that they used Xbox Live and PlayStation to make these secret chats. They basically, it looks like, turned off the whole system so they could go scrub it clean of any secret messages that may exist there. So I can bet that you'll find all of your internal logs wiped clean today after this incredible outage, incredibly suspiciously timed outage, if you will. So there you go. I mean, do with that as you may. I mean, this is all stuff you can look up and figure out for yourself. The next Q post says, ask yourself simple questions. And I'm going to read this because I know Snowden's at Snowden, but in this case, we're talking about Edward Snowden. We're going to talk about why it's kind of weird. Okay, if Edward Snowden was trying to travel to UIO, which is Ecuador, it's an airport in Ecuador, from Hong Kong, why would he route through Russia? How many direct flights per day from Hong Kong to Ecuador? What if Russia was the original target? Ask yourself, would you not want to be at your preferred destination prior to going public? Logical thinking, Q. Q's telling us straight up, Edward Snowden went to Russia on purpose. And I think we've all put that together for the most part by now. And if you haven't yet, I mean, that's just something that we've been throwing around here on the boards, and it seems to make a lot of sense that why, if he was really trying to get to Ecuador, why would he have gone through Russia? And Q's pointing out here, there's plenty of flights from Hong Kong straight to Ecuador, or more. I mean, I think there's probably a flight that's direct. I'd have to do a little more research on that. But the point is that Q is telling us it is not normal that he went there. And I think we've all put that together a long time ago. So that's why I kind of took that as, oh, okay, that's kind of just connecting that dot I had already connected before. Now it's saying, what if Russia was the original target? So imagine this. I don't know how that's supposed to be read. It could be read two different ways. One way would be that Edward Snowden was originally meant to land in Russia because he thought, or he was, I don't know if you want to say working for the Russians, but he realized that the only superpower maybe that could actually keep him from being extradited may be Russia or China. I mean, that would make sense. I don't know how. I mean, Ecuador's done a formidable job with Julian Assange, but let's be honest here. It's not really a country you might feel safe in. You could probably get nabbed pretty quick by whoever. So that being said, what I think is really important to think about here is the second thought that ran across my mind when I, pondered this one was, what if, let's just think about it this way. In a later post, Q's going to explain how there was meant to be this connection between Eric Schmidt and Edward Snowden. This was meant to be conflated because they're connected to each other somehow. We know Eric Schmidt has been alleged to be a bad actor by Q with his work in North Korea, where he went and set up the shadow servers so that they could have the Gmail, dead drop draft, email drafts, communication system. And that's something that Q's already logged, recorded, and it's been recorded by those who are very much the right people to be logging and recording it. And I know a lot of people get impatient, but a lot of this has to go on behind the scenes because, quite frankly, it went on behind the scenes to begin with. So that being said, here's what's being insinuated by the second thought that I had. What if Snowden was basically an agent of this deep state conglomerate, maybe working with Eric Schmidt, working with other outside sources, and then they gave him a way out? They said, well, look, we'll make you famous, and then you can spill all the secrets about the United States government's secret technologies, and we'll give you safe passage to Russia so that you don't have to get prosecuted and you can live the rest of your life out, and you'll expose all of this corruption. I mean, some people get brainwashed and misled along the way. And so that would, in that case, make Snowden a black hat. But to me, I think Q's pointing us in this direction because there's much more to this, and that could be a possibility. But as I've said, I encourage you guys to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, because I always am open to hearing other theories, because we're looking at this and decoding it together here. It says, would you not want to hear or to be at your preferred location? That's what it is. That's what I think is really important. Now the next one is kind of tying it all together. So Q's responding to his own post here that we read about Xbox Live and the purge, uh, which is what they did basically. They purged all of the records by shutting down the system. And Q gave us this post all the way back in April 26th of 2018, where Q says, we have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Think Google. Think Eric Schmidt departure. Think North Korea. Many drafts. Many shared users, foreign and domestic. Variable access. Codes. Fake email. Game form comms. New intel revealed today. Gmail comms. Renegade. Evergreen. Define Evergreen. When do you call a plumber? Ongoing investigations require Q. And then it gives an authorization with a code here. So breaking this one down real quick, they have it all. The right people have gotten the information. Eric Schmidt and Google, he had to resign. That was because of North Korea and the Gmail draft system that he set up there for secret communication. There was many shared users, foreign and domestic. It was a secret means of communication, variable access at variable points. There were codes, there were fake emails, game forum comms. Q pointed to us before he even laid out that it was Xbox Live and PlayStation. He told us it was game forum comms, which could have meant anything from Xbox to PlayStation to World of Warcraft online. But all of those are open for the possibility of being infiltrated, and you've seen what happened with Xbox Live, so I wouldn't be surprised if other servers have been wiped as well. It says, new intel revealed today about the Gmail communications, and these two monikers are very important, Renegade and Evergreen. The Secret Service had code names for the President of the United States, Obama, Hussein, and Hillary Clinton, the Secretary of State. And Obama, Hussein was Renegade, and Hillary Clinton was Evergreen. So when do you call a plumber? When you have leaks. That's what I think the insinuation was there. And that was probably where the leaks were. But then I also thought when they said plumber, it reminded me of the term wet works, which refers to some pretty nefarious illegal activity that would be, when foreign intelligence agencies enact some kind of criminal action, if it were, to take out targets illicitly. So, which has been suggested about Antonin Scalia. So there you go. And here we go. Q's telling us that's him. Then the next one is the one from yesterday where Q says text, emails, drafts, ham communications. So ham radio, PlayStation, Xbox chat logs. And it points to these exact people. I think that's James Comey, and you have Bruce Orr, Christopher Steele, Loretta Lynch, Andrew McCabe, Nellie Orr, and Sally Yates. And I mean, look, that's what they do. They're all like connected there. And Q is so funny, saying nothing to see here, move along, like Officer Bar Brady out of that television show South Park, which I don't regularly watch. I've seen it before in the past, but yeah, that's what it reminds me of when I hear him say that. Here's the next one is just as interesting. It gives this seal or patch or emblem, and it is the logo for INSCOM. And what is INSCOM? Well, INSCOM is the U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, and this is the link that Q actually gives us in the post saying, what happens if FISA fails or signers cannot be trusted? Who signed this Clinton probe? I'm guessing that's Clinton probe FISA, meaning that there's an actual FISA that was issued for the Clinton probe, but you guys may have a different interpretation because that's going to affect how I read the rest of this. But the way I've interpreted it off the bat is that was the Clinton probe FISA. It says, how do you keep something secure and safeguarded when those at the top of ABC departments are corrupt and being removed? And what that would suggest is that the FISA was actually brought to a special judge, possibly a military judge, because the insinuation here is that the military intelligence and security command is actually in charge of this investigation and overseeing it, which in that case, we really have to be thankful. I can't tell you, but in my heart, I am so thankful. I know great servicemen. My family served. And I can tell you right now, one of my great friends is a Marine, and I can tell you that they're one of the best people I know. So imagine you have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and who knows, maybe even the Space Force. But you have so many great people, especially at the Army, especially in the Marines, especially in the Navy, Air Force. These guys and gals are doing it every day, and we need to give them a big shout out and pray for them so that they remain safe and they are successful in this battle against evil. But that would be a way to circumvent the corrupt bureaucracy, to be quite honest. And I have no qualm with that, because God bless America, we need to get this evil out, right? I mean, it's gotten pretty bad. So now the next one. 2 ANON posts here that Q responds to. One says, "Never have I been so proud to be an Army soldier, hooah." And then the next one says, an ANON says, "So aha, Q, you now have half the board thinking ES is Eric Schmidt and the other half thinking ES is Edward Snowden. Please confirm which." To the first, he responds, "Hoo-ha, soldier. Thank you for your service. God bless, Q." And I could not want to say any more. That's exactly my sentiment. God bless all the soldiers out there. Hoo-ha to all the Army and Semper Fi to all the Marines, and God bless all the rest. You guys are the best of the best, and we could not be more thankful for your service. And then the next one here says, in responding to the second one, "It should be clear in the context ES equals at Snowden. It should be clear based on previous drop regarding game comms why ES was included." Eric Schmidt, I think. Or Edward Snowden, actually. It says it should be clear that ES was used in both Google and Snowden to drops to establish a link. Q. So Q wanted to confuse us with this ES to establish a link between Eric Schmidt and Edward Snowden. And we're going to have to delve deeper into that. But I think that it's starting to become quite clear that Edward Snowden and Eric Schmidt connected. And why is Edward Snowden still in Russia? Why did he flee to Russia? What was the deal set up and promised to him? And again, it's like President Trump says, can you really blame our enemies? If our politicians are so corrupt and our own system is that bad to where we just sell off these spies and we say, oh yeah, we'll give you safe passage, go ahead and screw us and show all the secrets, and you'll go live free in Russia and you'll be just fine. Yeah, to me, and not only that, the real thing about Edward Snowden, let's just hypothetically say that he is a black hat, because I can't tell you whether or not he is. I'm just hypothetically thinking out loud here. But if he is a black hat, how much of a screw you to America is it that he's like made out to be a hero? Right? Wouldn't that be like so weird? It would be almost Shakespearean, I guess. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I still leave the door open to the fact that he may be white hat, but we'll just have to wait and see how time will lay that out. Now the next one here is actually a status from guess who? James Comey. Now y'all remember his tweet to Andrew McCabe where he told him this like coded message that Q broke down, where it was like, basically it was like a coded message saying like, you need to shut up or else we're gonna put our people against you, and we need to activate more sleeper cells. And this is kind of the same thing apparently. Here's James Comey's latest tweet. I'm gonna do my best James Comey impression for you as I feel so inclined.
Once again, the president is sending a message that he will punish people who disagree with him and reward those who praise him. In a democracy, security clearances should not be used as pawns in a petty political game to distract voters from even bigger problems. The president befriends and praises despots and dictators like Putin and Kim Jong-un. Those friends provide stark contrast to the patriotic Americans and public servants he disrespects, threatens, and calls enemies. A war hero like John McCain, members of country's free press, and devoted public servants like John Brennan, American voters must not shrug off or be distracted from the terrible behaviors of this president, who lies to the American people every day, encourages racism, is a misogynist, and always puts his own interests above the United States of America. Politicians enabling this president should be held accountable in future elections. We are each responsible for what we say as well as for our silence.
There you go. You're welcome, and I know you guys enjoy those impressions, so that one was my best one yet, I think. I think we'll put that in the Hall of Fame of top impressions here on Just Informed Talk. But now, what's important to understand, all kidding aside, is line 4 here of an email that Q is pointing to us from December 9th, 2016, right? This is great. So Q, I think, is giving us a literal snippet from one of those Gmail drafts from December 9th, 2016. I don't know if this is referencing an email, but it seems like it's representing one of those drafts. And I think this is a message directly to Director Comey. It says, untethered to department standards, concerned dedicated resources in place are not adequate to shelter against the president's daily briefing in which several agencies contribute. Literally, that's a message they sent to one another. I mean, what? Right? So if that was from December 9th of 2016, think about what that date is. That is just before President Trump comes into office. And they're talking about how they cannot cover up the fact that they won't get adequate shelter when the president gets in there and the president's daily briefing explains to him, sir, you're being spied on by these crazy people who were in office before you, who are criminals. I mean, this is literally what it's saying. This resist operation it says, will you stand or cower? And I think that's a reference to Comey. It says resist operation will not provide enough public support for cover. Smile for the camera. Patriots in control. Q. So smile, James Comey. You're on camera now. We have a Gmail draft, apparently, a snippet of it that actually indicates how you were probably discussing the fact, allegedly, that the president's daily briefing couldn't be withheld from him. Golly. You guys, I mean, you're seeing it. You're here with me. Good golly. Okay, the next one. This is a post from the board, I think, Q's board here, the Patriots Fight Board. And it basically just has these 3 posts where it talks about the post we just went over with another post here. And looking at them in sequence, I think, is important, right? Because then you talk about Comey here, and then the next one says, what a coincidence, James Comey did your email trigger a fake news blast. And if you actually look through all of these articles, they're news stories that came out right after Director Comey's tweet that are basically saying the president's daily brief here. They're all talking about the president's daily brief. Huh? Isn't that so interesting here? Yep. You guys are getting it right here firsthand. Now we have another sampling of the fake news attacks, right? Which we should wear as badges of honor at this point to know that we have garnered this kind of resistance. Now, TikTok by Bloomberg talks about what you need to know about QAnon, the fringe movement taking hold among Trump supporters. All right, I don't mind that headline. Here's another one. Top Republicans hit up QAnon's conspiracy nuts for cash. So Devin Nunes apparently is appealing to QAnon conspiracy theorists to make his campaign donations, which is a part of, I think, the broader narrative against Devin Nunes, because all they want to do is get him out of California because they need to remove him. He's one of the most prominent and awesome figures in the Congress as far as I'm concerned, and I think he needs to stay there for a much longer time. So if you guys are out in California, go to your local polling stations, whatever, if you're in that district, do what you can. Get him appointed again. That would be really nice. Now, next one here. QAnon and the 4chan trolls who could help Donald Trump in the 2018 midterms. Yeah, we're going to help with the truth. That's what we're going to help with, and I know they can't stand that. QAnon, why we have the CIA to partly thank for the craziest conspiracy theory yet. Yeah, we do have the CIA to almost entirely thank for all of this, for all of their corruption and crimes and malfeasance. And I'm not talking rank and file. I'm sure there's a lot of good people, but look at Brennan. Look at that uh, you know what storm. There you go. That's all you really need to know. And here's another one. Russian trolls spread baseless conspiracy theories like Pizzagate and QAnon after the election. Now, this one really upsets me because when I read it, all I think is that these people are so lost. I mean, this BuzzFeed reporter, either he's purposefully like this just complete propagandist, disinformation artist, or they're really like that lost that they really believe that it's all Russian trolls when there's millions of Americans who are like, and millions of people from around the world, not just Russia. I mean, all around the world who are getting into this saying, you know, we want to know the truth. We want to expose this kind of stuff. We just want to keep our kids safe and to build a better future for ourselves and others. And these people want to tear it all down. And it's just sad. Here's another one. CNN poll, Democratic advantage grows in race for Congress. And this talks about how another just piece of fake news fakery. Now here's a deep dive into the deep state, unpacking the summer of Trump conspiracy theories. Right? It's all a conspiracy theory. Yeah, Hillary didn't delete all those emails. No, yeah, Clinton Foundation, they didn't do any of that lobbying and getting millions of dollars or $500,000 for a speech, you know, right after the Rosatom deal with Uranium One clears. No, none of that happened. Let's just, if you even ask a question about that, you're basically tantamount to a treasonous traitor. So here's an interesting one from Media Matters. We can always depend on them for half-truths and deception. It says, in drawing equivalencies between white supremacists and Antifa, media outlets obscure ideologies and impacts. So basically it's guiding the media here to say, don't call them white supremacists. You're ruining it for us. And they're not nearly as bad as Antifa. Look, you're basically getting it all wrong. White supremacists are evil, which I'm not in favor of white supremacists at all. I think that's sick and wrong. But it's like you sit here and you listen to it and they're like, Antifa, they just punch people. You guys, white supremacists kill people. Don't you even like, what is wrong with you? How could you even think, you know, it's okay for just a group of mass thugs to roam the streets and beat people down for their free speech. That's fine, but we have to put a stop to the 0.0000000000001% of the population that are white supremacists who are committing these evil crimes. Don't you understand that's way more important than the 0.001% of the population who are actually nutjob Antifa crazies, who are beating people in the streets. But it's okay because they just punch people. You know, let them duke it out, right? This is the logic that they come to you with. And I'm not being facetious. That's what this article says. It literally says right here, white supremacists commit murders in pursuit of genocidal policies. Antifa throws punches. They're not the same. Media outlets have to clarify. We have to paint them in a better picture because, you know, they're just Antifa who are out there, you know, throwing punches for to fight Nazism and to fight hate speech, because when they perceive that your speech is an attack on them, then they have the full right to punch you in the face, right? According to Media Matters, that's exactly the logic we need to be living by. I'm sorry. I hate to get on a rant like that on a tangent, but this is infuriating. This is maddening. This is like Twilight Zone stuff. I'm literally waiting for the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's literally what I'm waiting for. And an introduction and a time when protesters can punch you in the face for your speech. You know what I mean? Like literally, that's what I'm waiting for. Thanks, Talia Lavin. Great reporting. You should get a Pulitzer for that one. I'm sure that they'll love you over there. All right. And yeah, okay, so then we had one more, excuse me. It was this New York Times one about the kids from Parkland, which, yeah, that's sad that they had to go through a lot. Anyway, it says another wave of attacks same day as the targeted coordinated attack versus POTUS. Nothing to see here, Q. It's just like they attack the president, they attack Q, they attack everyone. You know, all they want to do is attack because that's all they have left. They don't have facts on their side. They don't have the truth on their side. You know what they have? They have a big bag of lies that they have to throw and shove down your throat. That's why spreading these links and getting this information out there is really important. Now, the next one is the sick video. I'm not even going to play the video, but you guys have probably seen it on Facebook. But this Catholic priest is like baptizing this kid, and it's so weird. Like, He grabs the kid, he smacks the kid, he's like grabbing and holding the kid's head. To me, it looked like something that an abuser would do to a child who is used to abusing a child. And it's sick. And I'm not even going to play it because who needs to see it? But you can see this priest grabs this baby, tries to baptize him, and then slaps the baby across the face pretty hard and grabs its head. And it's just like, you don't even understand how somebody could think that's okay. And Q asked a good question: is that a man of God? And Q says, see something, say something. People must unite to clean out these old institutions. Q. So if you're Catholic, look, I'm not Catholic. I'm more of an evangelical Lutheran, but it doesn't matter what kind of Christian you are, or it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, whether you're Muslim, Jew, whatever, Buddhist, I don't know. It all is about being a good person. Now, I believe in God, and I want you to believe in God, and my whole duty in life is to spread the word of God, to make you understand that Jesus is the one and only answer. But if you're out there, understand that I see Catholics as brothers and sisters. I don't see that division as some do. And I just know that in every institution, there are people who are corrupt, who do bad things, and they need to be exposed. And that's what we need to coalesce behind, not behind dividing ourselves and bifurcating ourselves. We need to understand we're all children of God. We're all Christ's children and God's children, and we're going to be redeemed through Christ's sacrifice on the cross. So to me, if we see something, we need to say something, and we need to all stand up against that kind of abuse, especially given the stories that have been coming out lately. So the next one here is interesting. Who is this gentleman? We've seen him before. You guys remember I made a whole video about this gentleman here in Hong Kong who Q took a mysterious picture of, and guess where he shows his face again? Q asks, what are shovels used for? Q. Now, digging, burying, I don't know, but we'll see. Next one is this graphic. Now, I want you all to completely disregard the Madeleine McCann reference here, as Q is going to make that clear later. I'm not going to support that kind of theory because I have not seen enough proof. Even though, trust me, I agree with everyone out there. The circumstantial evidence and the circumstantial proof and the eyewitness accounts, it's all very disturbing, and it does lead to a lot of questions about Tony Podesta and John Podesta. But Q wants us to disregard this for now and focus on what's more important. Why are these gentlemen, Bill Maher, Anthony Weiner is Bill Maher's friend, why are all these gentlemen with Andy here wearing red shoes? What is that? People have made a lot of insinuations and theories and guesses. But if you can see in this picture here, a lot of these people are kids. I mean, they look like they may be in their teens. And that raises a lot of questions. But they're all standing there wearing their red shoes. And the red shoes are representative of something. What could they be representative? Maybe a certain set of people who enjoy doing things. And I'm not even going to go further than that other than to say, what bodily fluid is the same color red? And what do cannibals do? Those are the two questions I'll ask. And I'll leave that to you guys. And you guys can do your own research on this. But that's something that Q is pointing us to. And then Q gives us these two articles here, which basically one is for FARA, which is, we'll pull this up right here. This is I'm just going to click it. Okay, so this is talking about Andrew Cotters. So Andrew Cotters is this gentleman that we're looking at right here in this picture. That's Andrew Cotters. Now, Q's pointing us to him because he is somebody who has an incredibly important position in all of this. There's something very important about Andrew Cotters. He works for the Podesta Group. Lo and behold, he's been working there since about 2009. So right after President Obama got elected, Andrew Cotters joined the Podesta Group. Now, why is that important? It's because in the next article, we actually see that there is this lobbying registration form for the Podesta Group that's made on behalf of the European Center for a Modern Ukraine. This is the connection that a lot of people have looked back to and said, could be a connection between Ukraine, Uranium One, the deal with the Russians. And of course, you have Tony Podesta here at the top. And who is like the main guy here for everything? Andrew Cotters. This guy is like filling a lot of roles here, especially in the lobbying forums. So then you have this WikiLeaks email, which is very interesting to read. It's from Andrew Cotters to the Podesta Group, and it talks about how they're raising funds, and talks about cooking and going to this fundraiser and who's going to be the chef and all that stuff. But what's very interesting is coming up in the next post where it says, first off, this Q's like, nothing to see here, I guess. There's nothing there, right? And then the next post is responding to that post saying, remember conspiracy, quote unquote, friends. LARPs have access to a full stock of original surveillance photos. Nothing to see here. Fake news, constant attacks. Nothing to see here. Enjoy the show. Q. So what Q is saying is, look, these people, this gives us more, I think, strength. This gives us a stronger hand against the media to say, Q is telling us that they have pictures, they have a full stock of original surveillance photos that they could give to us at any time they want, and they have been giving us throughout this whole thing. And if that's not proof in and of itself, I don't understand what is. Because we're getting these literal original surveillance photos that have never been published and never been put out there, and they just go, oh, it's a fake, we're all LARP. It's just sick, it's stupid. Fake news, constant attacks. That's what we have to expect from them. All right, now the next one. Two Anon's post here. One says, breaking news via Brett Baer on Fox. 4 planes have made emergency landings in Chile, Peru, and Argentina. It says no details yet, and then it gives the same headline here from Reuters. And this article was taken down. I can't find it. So, of course, CNBC, probably as soon as they realized Q linked to their article, pulled the article. Right? It says, within a week of the last boom set, what a coincidence. Remember Southwest? Remember Texas? 4. Boom, 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 boom. Q. So we have a lot of examples to go back. If you guys want to get more information on that, you can definitely find it. Just go back and look up the Southwest incident, where a Southwest plane was basically ambushed on a tarmac. And then you have the Texas, the guy who went around randomly giving bombs to people, putting them on their porches. That was really scary for a while there. And then Q asked 4. And Q gave us 4 booms, and here we have 4 planes that had to make emergency landings. Like, come on, guys. We can put 1 and 1 together and get 2. Although the media will always get like 3 or -7. I don't know. That's how they work. Now, the next one is talking about that WikiLeaks email that we were looking at. And the Anon says here, was a notable Anons are on fire. And it gives that email link. Q gives 2 more email links. Or 2 more links, actually, I should say. One to this right here, which is the e-file on the FARA.gov website. And what is this an e-filing for? Well, it's for the Podesta Group, of course, and it's like all their officially put in documents, right? And one of the ones that stood out to me was all the way down here at the bottom was you have Andrew Kaufman coming on board here. Back in 2009, you see here that's his employee form that he had to fill out. So I thought that was very interesting. And then the next one was basically, let me pull this one up. It was Exhibit B to registration statement pursuant to Foreign Agents Registration Act. So they had to register as a foreign agent to go work in, of all places, guess what? Hong Kong on the Trade Development Council. Oh, I wonder who's in bed with the Chinese. Let's see who's... Anthony G. Podesta, of course. How would I not see that one coming? So the Podesta Group working with China. Guys, it's all here. Q's laying it all out for us. I don't know what more you really need, but we're going to keep doing this. And it says, why did the Podesta Group close? Because President Trump got elected and they couldn't run their scams anymore, it would seem, allegedly. So there you go. And it says, mistaken photo collage reference to McCann was not intended, no connection, Q. And Q's clarifying that Madeleine McCann, like I said before, there's nothing to really take away from that other than that it was an accident, that it was included in that graphic. That graphic just happened to have all the pictures in the order that Q needed. Now it says here, an Anon post, BBC's hit piece on Q is 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And we're not going to watch it, but the BBC, I guess, put out a 3 minute and 55-second video on like or segment on how Q is fake and or whatever. And Q says badge of honor, military grade. Yes, we should all be very proud. Now, the next one's very interesting here, where it's talking about the badge of honor. Q's replying to his own tweet here, and it gives us this actual picture, which I think is great. So we know now who was in London, right? It was Lisa Page. This is her being escorted on a road. Q gave us the security surveillance tape. We have her here on tape. That's what Q's telling us, allegedly. And it says, keep your promise. This is not a game. So she's been a cooperating witness. And everybody says she's flipped on Peter Strzok. She's told the truth about everything. And she's going to tell the truth about the UK, Christopher Steele, and his connection to the Secret Intelligence Service. So buckle up, Buttercup. In the words of the creepy porn lawyer, you guys are on notice. So that's from Q. Now the next one says timelines change. Watch the budget Q. So I guess the next thing we're going to have to look forward to is a new budget issue that's going to be coming up. And so that'll be a future proof that we'll have to wait to put all the way to the test. But that's going to basically wrap it up for the moment. Now, if you are looking for a way to help out the channel, the best way to do is to come here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. The second best way is to scroll down at the end of this video and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments, because like I say, we try to have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos where we don't just talk about Q posts, we talk about politics, religion, culture, everything in between, and we talk about what the mainstream media will cover and what they won't cover and what they will cover incorrectly. So it's a great conversation. Even if you can't comment, I encourage you to go down and leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, before we sign off, President Trump is on fire on Twitter as usual, and we have to have like so much respect for this incredible president who just gets up every day and relentlessly fights for not only us, we the people, but fights for the integrity of the office and fights for what is right and calls out this kind of hypocrisy on a regular basis. So I'm not going to read all these to you today, but I think it's important to note that you need to go to President Trump's Twitter account. If you haven't yet, you need to get a Twitter account and you need to subscribe or follow at Real Donald Trump, and you need to listen to what the President of the United States is telling you, because what he is telling you is some of the most important information you will ever receive, really, besides the great word of our Lord Jesus Christ and our Savior. But this is pretty important, so we need to go here and look at this page. And if you want to help out another page on Twitter, if you just so happen to be over here, you can come find me at Justin_formed. Again, that's at Justin_formed on Twitter. And yeah, I really appreciate it. You guys come give me a follow, show me some love. It makes a big difference, and I'm so thankful. And also, if you guys are having trouble with the notifications over on YouTube, all my videos automatically get posted to Twitter, so it's a good way for you to get the content as well if you are interested. Now, that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a second here. Or actually, before, if you are looking to help out the channel financially, look, YouTube is going to do what they're going to do. It's crazy. You know, they come in, they just demonetize a bunch of videos, and I really rely on you guys here to come help me with your monthly donation. Now, that's what Patreon is. It's patreon.com. You can search Justin Form Talk or go to patreon.com/Justin Form Talk. You hit this button to become a patron. It's a monthly donation, and it's what keeps the channel going. And I'm so thankful to everybody who comes here and does that. Now, if you're interested in making a one-time donation, please come over here to GoFundMe. You can make even an anonymous donation here too. A one-time anonymous donation. If you just come here to GoFundMe.com/just-informed, you can help out the channel. But I really appreciate everybody who comes and does that. Now, before we sign off here, I want to talk about the most important thing, because you guys know me. I'm like a kid at Christmas. I save the best for last, always. And tonight's best is Psalm 46. And you guys have probably noticed I've spent a lot of time in Psalms lately, but the reason for that is simple. It's because I find so much incredibly uplifting verses here that I really want to share them with you, because I think they're really important. They actually pertain to the situations I think we're dealing with quite appropriately. So here we go. Psalm 46 says, God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Therefore, we will not be afraid, though the earth trembles and the mountains topple into the depths of the seas, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with its turmoil. There is a river, its streams delight the city of God. the holy dwelling place of the Most High. God is within her. She will not be toppled. God will help her. When the morning dawns, nations rage, kingdoms topple, the earth melts. When he lifts his voice, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Come, see the works of the Lord, who brings devastation on the earth. He makes wars cease throughout the earth. He shatters bows and cuts spears to pieces. He burns up the chariots. Stop your fighting and know that I am God, exalted among the nations, exalted among the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. And that is called a God our refuge. And God is our refuge. Look at what that's saying. God is in control of everything. He can make mountains topple into oceans. He can cut down the bows of men. He can make wars cease. But God is in control. And we have to resign ourselves to that fact, because that control that God has is God's plan. And God has a wonderful plan for each and every one of us. And the way to enact that plan to its fullest is to repent, is to seek God out, to make your life about devoting your whole being to God and devoting your whole truth and existence to what is good. Now, you're going to be imperfect. You're going to make mistakes. I know I do. I regularly make a lot of mistakes. But what's incredibly awesome is God's grace, because God has given it for all of us so that we can make those mistakes as long as we seek forgiveness. And with that, I really hope that those words help you in your way and help you understand that what we're doing here is all in God's hands, no matter what. And I appreciate you guys coming here and watching this episode. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. I want you to come here, click the big red subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell. But that's going to be it for me. Until next time, this has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed, and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.